You guys, Apple has just released a digital ID for identification and US passports. Here we go. Now, reports say they will be merging their biometric security with encrypted ID storage and plans to replace your physical IDs across airports, apps, and businesses. Why don't I like this? They also said this is going to be used at over 250 TSA checkpoints across domestic airports for identity verification. Now, remember I told you guys about one of the richest men on earth, Larry Ellison, who owns TikTok and Oracle and who's a big fan of digital IDs? Well, it seems like one big master plan between all the big tech companies. You have Microsoft dealing with OpenAI dealing with NVIDIA dealing with Oracle, xAI dealing with NVIDIA, and not to mention OpenAI just did a $38 billion deal with Amazon for cloud storage. So the question is, what are they really planning? Well, I may have some answers. Could it be that they're following in the footsteps of China's Skynet, which is tied to digital IDs, a social credit score, and an AI surveillance system that they actually want to put on the moon? Skynet, huh? Why does this sound familiar? That's because it's the same name as the killer artificial intelligence in Terminator, Skynet. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It's always in the movies. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, Maverick Approach, where I do more breakdowns on this, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Shalom. Call hello, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High. In name of His only begotten Son. Double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. As you see in this video, update, Apple has just launched a digital ID, which Apple already has a digital wallet, okay? When you use Apple Pay, you have something called a digital wallet, Apple Wallet. And I'm not gonna lie, I use Apple, Apple Pay, just about every day. All right. And it's useful, okay? It's very convenient. I'm not going to cap. But this is all for, them to bring in this beast system and ultimately get you, CHIP, man. All right. It says it will be accepted at over 250 TSA checkpoints across America. This can't be good. All right. So they're moving towards this MOTB. We understand what's happening. We understand what's going on. This is not nothing new to us, but we have to report on these things to tell you what's coming. Now, he showed you how all these companies are, linked in together. Look at this. It says healthcare. This is all goes into your digital ID, which is eventually going to be a MOTB. Your healthcare, your financial services, your food and sustainability, travel and mobility, humanitarian response, e-commerce, like social media, social platforms, e-government, telecommunications, smart cities. All right, so they're moving this thing and they're setting everything in place. All right. Salakia. All right. So what he said right there about how all these companies are working together. All right. Scriptures, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know what time it is. Let's play this clip right here. I seen one of the brothers bring this out.
United States was Skynet. That we have been highly effective in conditioning the people's minds to accept our solution to the world's problems. The energy crisis here in the United States was exceptionally successful worldwide, and we expect similar success with our upcoming food shortage. Our labor leaders have made great progress by causing confusion and work stoppages in all areas of the world. Financially, the dollar is being devalued even faster than we could have hoped. Politically, the public has lost total.
Which this is why Trump wants to bring out the $200, tariff checks. Okay, which you've seen what happened with the stimulus checks. It basically just devalued the dollar, making things more expensive. They want to devalue this dollar more than it already is devalued, so they can bring in, a one world currency. Okay.
Confidence in any form of government. The threat of universal war is a daily possibility. As you know, we ourselves do not need to hold any visible office of leadership. As a matter of fact, it's better that we do not. If we control the finances, news media...
Fair use, fair use. It says early warning, highly accurate scene from the 1981 movie Early Warning with what we are seeing in our world today. And that's crazy. The movie was called Early Warning, which this is what the prophets are doing, warning you early of what's to come. For the prophesy means to say before. So we're telling you what's happening before, okay, it actually comes.
Food, transportation, energy, we control everything. It is important that you, as world leaders, keep our program before your countrymen. With our World Bank and computer program operational, we now have the capacity to control the financial affairs of every human being on Earth by giving each person his own computer number. Anytime his number is used, we would know his financial situation at once.
That's a digital ID, your own computer number.
You could not buy or sell anything without his computer number.
You cannot buy or sell anything without his computer number. So let's grab that real quick. I'm not gonna make this too long. I got a few more clips I want to play, or at least one more at least. But yeah, let's grab that. Revelation chapter 13, which we've been screaming this upon the rooftops. You can't say that you wasn't warned. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Eventually, they want to put this technology inside your body, okay? And then they want to do it to everybody. It says that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, this is the vibration of this devil. All right, he wants to give you pretty much put a barcode inside of you, and that's what the barcode is, the UPC code, which is the universal product code. Everything you buy here in America, or if you have to sell something, it usually comes with a code that you got to scan. All right, well, they want to put the scan, they want to put a code inside of you. All right, so lock here.
Will simplify their lifestyles tremendously. The end result will be a one-world monetary and government system that we alone will control. Yes.
What about the people who forget their number, or their cards are lost or stolen?
We've made provisions for that. By using this laser imprinter, we can painlessly and permanently affix the person's number to the back of his hand or his forehead if he so desires.
You heard that? All right, they want to put this inside your body. All right, because if you get a digital ID, a digital number, you can lose it. You can lose your phone, but you can't lose your hand. You can't lose, your head.
The numbers would be easily read by this new ultraviolet scanning equipment. For the purposes of demonstration, I've had such a number imprinted on myself. Once this number is imprinted, it cannot be lost nor can it be changed. Now, are there any questions?
What about the individuals who refuse to have this number implantation?
We expect some minor resistance, especially from highly motivated religious groups. But eventually, hunger will cause even the most zealous to conform to our program. That we have been highly effective.
They just did this experiment with this with the SNAP benefits. See how dependent you people are upon this system, man. Okay. Look at this. Digital ID is ready for age and identity verification in apps, online, and in stores. And they also want to do this too, so they can verify you on all your social media platforms, to control you, which is going to bring in which is pretty much going to bring in the famine of hearing the word, because they're going to cut all these channels off. Even now, when some of my older channels, or my other channels that I don't use as much, every now and then when I do try to use them, I gotta I had to do it last night for the camp channel. I had to scan your face, you had to turn it side to side, and if not that, then they want your ID. Okay, we're in a golden age. Apple ID, the original digital ID, unlike the original Apple cost of $666, it's free. It's the new wearable, right? So and that shows you too that the original Apple phone was $666. $666. All right, whatever. All right. So we understand what we know what time it is, man. All right. The Lord has given us the eye salve to see in these dark times. Let me get another video and I'm gonna close out. I got one more precept too, which I want to grab. All right. This woman right here.
It is now rolling out in the digital ID is now rolling out in the United States. Yesterday, Apple announced its new digital ID where you have a trackable ID in your phone. Sounds convenient, right?
And it's no coincidence that everybody damn near got an Apple phone now, man. All right? Everybody got an Apple phone.
At the same time, UK, Canada, and Australia are rolling out digital ID. UK makes it a job requirement, Canada links it to money, and Australia is rapidly expanding it. Do you really think this is just a coincidence? First, it's your passport, then it's your driver's license, then it's your medical records, then it's your bank access until total control is handed over. It starts out as optional until it's mandatory. It's almost as if when our freedoms are taken away, it always starts in the name of convenience. But I don't know, let me know what you think.
Right, so, you know,
Digital ID is...
At first, it's just, you know, supposedly convenient. You know, you don't have to actually carry a credit card with you anymore. But the time is coming. It says, ladies and gentlemen, you're hill to die on. Digital ID, AI surveillance, carbon tracking, 15-minute cities, predictive policing, drone surveillance, cashless economy, social credit scores, programmable money, biometric checkpoints, mandatory health apps, every nation's racing toward the same finishing line, total compliance. Right. Okay. So we see this thing playing out, and we're constantly speaking about it and warning you about it, but majority of people are still lost and confused. All right. I like these pictures. Let me get some of these pictures. All right. So look at this. Every totalitarian regime or dictatorship requires the widespread approval of the population. The population accepts everything and gives their consent to it. The rulers need a certain number of people for its implementation or implementation, whatever. Then it becomes law. Okay, so it says historically the most terrible things, war, genocide, and slavery, have resulted not from disobedience, but from obedience. Right? You people are just going to, bow down. Okay? You're going to bow down, man. All right? These people don't have a mind for themselves anymore. All right, so let's grab this last precept. And all this is good, man. All right? But people are picking up on what's going on. Let's go into this word ignorant. All right, somebody had brought this up the other day on my channel, which, you wasn't right. You wasn't wrong, but you wasn't right either. All right, and if you want to teach, that's what you got a channel for. It says, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 38, but if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. This is what I want to grab right here. Because if you act like this ain't going on, then that's on you. It says 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? Which is where devices goes into schemes, okay? His plots, his plans, which, whoever it was, they said, the devices is his technology. That's a part of it, because that's a part of his schemes, his evil purpose, his evil thoughts, his plans. All right, the word for devices.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
It says mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. That which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So he's using his technology to fulfill his evil purposes, his evil schemes and thoughts. A perception, i.e. purpose, or by implication, the intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, thought. So this is their plans. Okay? As it says right here in verse 11, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. So the devices is not just his technology. Devices is his plans, his evil schemes, his plots, his thoughts. Okay, and he's using his technology to bring these things to pass. Okay, this is why hence the digital ID being put on your Apple phones. Which it's probably going to come with the update. I don't usually update my phones. I have it where it doesn't update, which makes it a little slower, whatever it may be. But when you have them updates, they're putting all kind of shit on your phone, and then you have to pretty much agree to it in the fine print. All right, so eventually we're all going to have to have these digital IDs anyways. We're all going to have to use this digital money, this programmable money. But when it comes to them actually putting an implant inside your body, that's where we're going to have to draw the line, man. All right, and that's why the elect are not going to be deceived and fooled by this man's, wicked beast system, and they're going to beware. But everybody else, they're going to fall for it. They're going to be taken. Shalom, Kama Shara, Allah, Ball.